I know exactly why you're here. You are here because you want Linux, but you don't want to get rid of your Windows. How do you get Linux without getting rid of your Windows? Yes, you can do a dual boot. I know that. You know that. But you're not here because you want to do a dual boot. You want another option. And I'll give you even an additional option, which I did in another video. So you have Cygwin, which is another option. Cygwin basically is something where you can actually do scripting on Cygwin. It can be a little bit complicated. You have to make sure you download the appropriate packages and things like that. But you can do scripting, and you kind of have a Linux type of environment. You have that kind of look and feel going for you. So that's the whole Cygwin deal. But what if you want a real Linux experience? The real deal. You want Linux, not a Linux simulation. Well, here is what you can do. You can actually install Linux on your machine, but without doing a dual boot, by using a virtual machine. So we're going to go and look up VMware Player. So you can just type in VMware Player, search for it, this will come up. And if you go into the page and you click on their download link, then you're going to have free tools. See here, free product downloads. You can click on Player, and then you download the appropriate player. So in my case, I'm running Windows. So you see here, show details. It says VMware Player and Player Plus for Windows 32 and 64-bit. So I have a 64-bit OS, Windows 7. So that's me. So I'm going to go ahead and download. Click on the download button. Boom! It's going to download below here. I already downloaded it, so let's just skip that part. Then once you're done, I'm going to go ahead and start up the VMware Player. And we'll talk about what VMware Player is. So VMware Player basically is a virtual machine setup. So essentially you can actually, let's get this out of the way so it's not distracting. So what you can do here, remind me later, stupid pop-ups. So what you can do here is you can actually set up a virtual machine. It means what it sounds like. So essentially imagine a computer within a computer. So you have a virtual environment here that when you start out, it has nothing. So it's like you have a new computer with no software installed on it. So now you actually need to install software. So again, always think of this as an actual computer, as actual hardware. So you have to approach it in a similar manner. So step one, I just got a new computer. That's what we just downloaded. Call it a new computer. Now I need an OS to run on this computer. And guess which OS I'm going to choose? Oh, you're so smart. Linux, that's what it is. How did you guess? I'm not even going to ask you. But anyway, so we want to actually create a new virtual machine, right? So here's our new virtual machine. Now, just like a normal machine, you have to actually install software. And you got to install an operating system to run the machine, right? So we can actually put installation software in the CD drive, and we can go ahead and actually do an installation right now, or we can actually install from an ISO image. So a couple of different options. But before we continue, let's actually go out and find a Linux distribution that we want to actually install on this virtual machine. It's kind of self-contained, so I can actually have a Linux environment running within this window. So it'll be the real deal. It's really Linux, it's really running, but it's running within this virtual environment as opposed to actually installing it where it's installed on my actual machine. It's not installed on my machine, it's installed in the VMware environment. So let's go grab a Linux distribution to go ahead and get what we need to get started here. Okay, the distribution that I want is Ubuntu Studio. So I just did a quick search, Ubuntu Studio. There's the website, .org, click on the link, and here we are. So now let's go ahead and go to downloads. And we have a couple of options. You have the Ubuntu Studio 13.10 Saucy Salamander. And then you have Ubuntu 12.04 Precise Pangolin. Is that how you pronounce that? Anyway, I'm going to go with this one because if you look at this one, you see that the support period for this one is only until July 2014. Whereas this has a more long-term support program where it's supported until 2017. So I'm going to go with that one. You have a couple of different options. You can download an ISO. ISO, where did we see that before? ISO. Got it. So let's choose an ISO. So we're going to go with torrent links, direct links. Let's get the ISO 64-bit. That's what we want. Boom! We are installing. Well, Not quite, we're downloading. So I'm gonna pause the video while we download, and the download will be done in an instant. Done. Look how fast that was. All right, so it's installed, or downloaded rather. So what are we doing wrong here? It says it wants to install this ISO onto a disk, and that's the only option. Well, what we're doing wrong here is that we're trying to actually install this ISO. We want to actually install it onto a disk, or copy it rather onto a disk. But this is not the actual process we want to do. What we want to do is we actually already have this ISO downloaded to the computer. So all we need to do is to point the VMware player to this ISO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show in folder. And so here it is. So now, rather than actually trying to run this, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our VM player. Let's shut down this website for now. VM player is back here. And now we're going to go ahead and select the ISO image to install from. So we're going to browse, select, and now we're going to go next. And now we can go ahead and personalize it. So this is our machine. We're creating our actual machine. So the machine name, I'm going to call it Carlisle Virtual. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a folder. Call it Virtual PC. Call it My Virtual PC. Make it a little more personal. Click OK. Click Next. Maximum disk size, so we can limit the amount of disk size that it can use. So let's just stick with the recommended. So we're going to say 20 gigabytes for now. All right, so there's our machine. Let's go ahead and finish. And then it says power on, so we're going to turn this machine on.
You know what to do. Click on that like button.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.
Options are just like coupons.
Sir, Unibravo Alpha Delta Nate.
I have 2 great reasons why you should subscribe to this channel right now. What is the bid price? Number 1, because you want to learn all about trading and trading technology and not fall asleep and not get a headache. My videos make you smile and make you finally understand complex topics like no other. Number 2, because rather than listen to me self-promote, you're going to take a look at what some of my viewers are saying about my videos. Don't take my word for it. The proof is in the pudding, or the comments. Take a look.
Options are just like coupons.
Sir, Unibravo Alpha Delta Nate.
I have 2 great reasons why you should subscribe to this channel right now. What is the bid price? Number 1, because you want to learn all about trading and trading technology and not fall asleep and not get a headache. My videos make you smile and make you finally understand complex topics like no other. Number 2, because rather than listen to me self-promote, you're going to take a look at what some of my viewers are saying about my videos. Don't take my word for it. The proof is in the pudding, or the comments. Take a look.
Can someone explain to me what just fell from the ceiling?